Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. Up for you guys, our pregame press conference and team builder for week 1 of WBE VGC. For those who don't know, every single week I'll be breaking down my team, what I'm bringing, why I'm bringing it, and talking about my opponent. In this case, Wolfe Glick, the world champion from 2016, and the DC Dracovish. The match is usually going to be on the following day, and of course these team builders are not posted until the battle has already taken place, so just an FYI there. Obviously this week we're a little bit late. I still don't have internet. I'm actually using a hotspot right now, and I do have power back finally after a week of no power, so I do apologize for the delayed upload. Normally these matches will go up on Sundays, with the team builders going up on Saturdays, so that's just something to note, so you guys will see that in the future. But again, we're going to talk about the teams. We're going to break them all down. I'm going to put a nice spicy spin on our team builders this season. We're going to spice them up a little bit, like I said, give you guys kind of the breakdown, and also give you some really cool visuals and things like that to kind of pair with it. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, I'd love to see your support. Show some love. Hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you guys are new. Get those notifications turned on. You got to appreciate the hustle, right? I do apologize again for the delayed match, but there's not a whole lot I can do. I can't trust the Nintendo Switch Wi-Fi to be good enough right now with me hotspotting and only having 1 bar of service. So before I jump into the actual team builder, I want to shout out VikaVolts.com. You guys can go to VikaVolts.com to pick up all your VikaVolts merchandise. I've got t-shirts, I've got stickers, we've got pins, all sorts of cool stuff, mugs, all sorts of great VikaVolts, merchandise, as well as WBE t-shirts as well. So any support there is greatly appreciated. But let's talk about the teams and break it all down. So when we look at Wolfe's team and the DC Dracovish, he's got a really interesting team. He's got G-Max Rillaboom as his G-Max, which of course is going to essentially allow him to ignore my abilities. Not really relevant, but Rillaboom, massive threat with Fake Out, obviously gets Grassy Glide. It's just a really good Pokemon overall. I expect him to bring it, and I think he brings it with an Assault Vest most likely. He's got Arcanine, which is an offensive fire type Pokemon, but in this case I could see it running Snarl. He may try to run Beat Up with it and try to pull some shenanigans there, but generally its best use is going to be Intimidate to slow down my physical attackers, Snarl to slow down my special attackers, and then moves like Heat Wave and stuff to kind of deal some spread damage. He could also go a more offensive variant with something like Wild Charge, physically offensive. He's got Dracovish, obviously known for being just a massive threat. It's mascot Pokemon with Vicious Rend. He can run it Choice Scarf or Choice Banded. Generally, you run one of the two. I guess he could run Life Orb as well, but generally, I think in this matchup, Choice Scarf is probably his best bet. He's got Drifblim, which is most often going to be paired with his Rillaboom if he brings it, carrying the Grassy Seed, rocking that Unburden ability, allowing that Drifblim to double its speed stat and set up things like Tailwind, as well as spread status around with things like Thunder Wave, maybe Hypnosis, all sorts of shenanigans there. Drifblim's a scary Pokemon because it can run a lot of different things, and it's a very unique Pokemon in the sense that it's so fast because of its Unburden ability. His next Pokemon is Escavalier. Escavalier is his premier offensive Pokemon under Trick Room with only 20 base speed, can deal massive damage. In this case, I pretty much think he's got to go one of two ways. He's either going to try to bring Trick Room to beat my Trick Room, or he's going to try to bring counter Trick Room. And if he brings his own Trick Room, he's going to bring Escavalier. He's going to run like Iron Head, Drill Run, Mega Horn potentially. It also gets Knockoff, so it's got some really cool coverage options. Great Assault Vest user, really good with an Oka Berry, and just deals so much damage and can stop critical hits with Shell Armor. He's also got Scrafty, of course, another Fake Out user to go with Rillaboom. Generally Intimidate, Fake Out, that kind of stuff. I don't think Scrafty's a huge threat on my team with me having Togekiss, but still something we need to keep in mind. It can beat up as well, but generally it's Assault Vest or just kind of a berry. And again, it kind of spreads Fake Out, Intimidate shenanigans, and then can deal some damage with his Fighting and Dark type moves. Jolteon is actually a massive threat. Jolteon is very, very fast, base 130 speed, and while its coverage is limited to basically Electric and Ghost for the most part, it can get other things like Copycat, it can get Charm, it can get some really kind of funky moves that you normally wouldn't see, and I'm a little concerned about Jolteon because of how fast it is. And the next Pokemon is Musharna, which is his premier Trick Room setter. He could try to bring Musharna with Imprison to stop my Trick Room, or he could try to bring his own Trick Room mode. Musharna is obviously a big threat, and it gets the ability Telepathy, so he can run Musharna plus Jolteon and just spam discharges against me. So that's something I'll have to be very mindful of in going into this battle. Wigglytuff is a competitive user. If it gets a stat drop, it actually raises its special attack. Otherwise, it's relatively weak, not super offensive, and it can obviously take some hits, being a bulky Ghost and Fairy type Pokemon. Poliwhirl, a very, very bulky Ground and Ice type Pokemon, often carrying the Eviolite item, can deal some damage, but otherwise isn't a huge threat. And then last but not least is Diglett, which of course has Arena Trap. His main primary use for Diglett is to trap things, then also beat up on his own Arcanine. That's the main reason there. So when we look at his 11 Pokemon, the ones I expect to see are Rillaboom, Arcanine, Dracovish, Drifblim, Escavalier, Jolteon, Musharna. Those 8, I think, are the most likely to come. I think he brings 6 out of those 8. I don't see Diglett, Policeline, Wigglytuff, or Scrafty coming to this match, if I'm being totally honest. But that's my breakdown of his team. Let's talk about what I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. So obviously, when you look at my team, I've got a lot of different threats. I have a Blastoise that can G-Max, deal massive damage. Serena can stop that priority from Rillaboom and Scrafty. Rhyperior can deal big damage under Trick Room. Luxray can provide Intimidate support. Hitmonchan can punch a couple things. And then we've got the team that we're actually going to be bringing, which is what I'm going to be breaking down right here, right now. So the first Pokemon I'll be bringing is going to be our Togekiss. Togekiss is going to be rocking the Scope Lens. This is actually a Togekiss I hunted for many years ago, actually, and it was transferred in. It's named Easter, and it's got this Super Luck ability, which is going to increase that critical hit ratio. With Scope Lens and Super Luck, we are critting 50% of the time on my opponent. 50% of the time. That's actually pretty nuts. I've got a good amount of HP, 116 HP, 172 special attack, and a lot of speed. That speed is primarily for Dracovish to ensure that if he's banded, I am going to outspeed him. We've got that standard set of Air Slash, Heat Wave, Dazzling Gleam with Follow Me to redirect attacks from my opponent. And also, this thing is a really good Dynamax user. I could Dynamax it, fire off max Airstreams. I could fire off max Dazzling Gleams. And we've also got Heat Wave there, which provides coverage for a Scavalier. Now, obviously, as a Scavalier could have Shell Armor, that could be problematic, but I do expect my Togekiss to be a focal point of this team. The next Pokemon I'm going to be bringing is going to be a Focus Sash Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales provides the team with incredible Snow Warning support, allowing me to set up that hail for 5 awesome turns. I'm running max speed, max special attack with a modest nature, allowing me to speed tie with max speed Arcanine, which I don't anticipate him bringing. I'm also carrying Freeze Dry, which is going to one-shot that Dracovish, being 4 times super effective. Protect there to scout out those fake outs. Icy Wind to slow my opponent down. It targets both Pokemon and slows them down by 1 stage. And then, of course, Aurora Veil. Probably the bread and butter of this team. Being able to protect my team and essentially take half damage almost for 5 turns is incredible. I do want to mention he does have some Brick Break Pokemon. He does have Psychic Fangs Arcanine. So there are ways for my opponent to get rid of my Aurora Veil. But I feel very strong with this strategy here. Obviously, it's timid, but I'm running modest, like I said. And I expect that Ninetales is going to be the lead in a lot of these matches, being able to set out that Aurora Veil and protect the rest of the team. The next Pokemon I'm going to be rocking is the Hail Core, which is Whiteout, the Alolan Sandslash. I'm carrying a Life Orb to boost my attack by 30%. I've also got the Slush Rush ability, which is going to double my speed stat in Hail, allowing me to actually outspeed Jolteon under every circumstance, as long as he's not Quick Feed or as long as he's not running a Choice Scarf himself. We've got Drill Run, which is a single target ground type move that does about the same damage as Earthquake would do anyway, but does not get reduced by grassy terrain if that's set. It also allows me to single target the Jolteon or whatever the threat may be and not hit my own Pokemon. I've got Throat Chop there, which can deal massive damage to Musharna if he tries to threaten a Trick Room lead on me. I can actually go for Max Darkness plus Freeze Dry into Musharna and knock it out in 1 turn. Protect is there just to protect me, and then Triple Axle, a very powerful Ice type move that turns into 140 base power max Hailstorm. Very strong. Obviously, Sandslash can set its own hail as well. It's got a lot of threats to deal with my opponent having Intimidators like Arcanine, which is a huge threat against Whiteout. But if I could save this thing for the later game, or just use it early game to chip some things down and waste some of his turns, that could be really effective as well. And again, we're running the Adamant Nature with enough speed to outspeed Jolteon. The next Pokemon, probably the bread and butter of the team, is going to be Bronzong or Liberty. This guy's rocking a Colbur Berry. I may change it to Cassib Berry. I'm probably going to do some more calcs and figure that out before the battle. But Colbur weakens Dark type moves. Cassib weakens Ghost type moves. They're both viable. One kind of protects me a little bit more from Rillaboom, whereas the other one kind of protects me a little bit more from Drifblim. So they both have viability, but the main thing that this guy's going to be doing is setting up Trick Room. He's got that super bulky defense stat, minus speed, heat proof to reduce the damage from those fire type moves aimed from like Arcanine, things of that nature. And we've got Rock Tomb there, which you're going to see why in a minute. Hypnosis, incredible 60% accuracy sleep move that can be devastating into the Trick Room condition. I've got Trick Room myself to set it up, and I've got Imprison, so if he brings his Trick Room mode, and I feel like my best bet is to stop his Trick Room, I can actually imprison my own Trick Room and stop the Musharna from setting Trick Room itself if I feel that his Trick Room mode is better than mine, which in some ways it is, some ways it isn't, right? Like a Scavalier is super good because of how slow it is. It's slower than anything that I have, but simultaneously my Trick Room mode is, I think, how I win this game. So we're going to talk about that here coming up. This is the key to the team and the key to our strategy this week. It is Monaloa, our Turtonator. Turtonator is rocking that weakness policy, which means if it gets hit by a super effective attack, it's going to double its special attack and double its attack stat in 1 turn. I can Rock Tomb my own Turtonator, 95% accurate, lower my speed 1 stage, activate my weakness policy, and then deal massive damage. I can't be crit because of shell armor. I've got max special attack, max HP, so I'm very, very bulky. I've got some incredible moves like Heat Wave, Scorching Sands, and Draco Meteor, which absolutely devastates Wolf's team. If you look at his team, if I have the Trick Room condition up, and I have my weakness policy activated, there's not a single thing on his team that can actually deal with Turtonator. And Turtonator's typing is so good this week. If you look at Rillaboom, not very good. Arcanine, terrible. Dracovish, okay, depends on who has Trick Room up, right? If I have Trick Room up, I'm really good against Dracovish. If I don't, Dracovish is kind of good against me. Drifloon can't do much. Escavalier, it can drill run me, but under Trick Room doesn't, or under Dynamaxing or Auroraville doesn't do much. Scrafty kind of doesn't do much. Jolteon does nothing. Masharna, very passive generally. Wigglytuff does nothing. Piloswine, I don't think he brings it. Diglett, I don't think he brings it, right? So, given the ones that I think he's gonna bring, I think Turtonator's an absolute monster. I know a lot of people doubted this pick, but I can tell you in every one of my practice battles that I've done, which I've done about 6 different best 2 out of 3s, Turtonator basically carried the team the entire time. So my strategy is basically going to be a late game Trick Room strategy. I lead with Togekiss Ninetales. I lead with Ninetales Sandslash, whatever it is. I get the Veil up, I send in Bronzong, I set up Trick Room, I set up for Turtonator to come in. Even if it doesn't Dynamax, Heat Wave with the weakness policy is massive and can deal massive damage, and of course, we're rocking that quiet nature. Last but certainly not least is going to be Venemax here, our Drapion. Drapion is actually carrying the Razor Claw, which is going to boost its critical hit ratio. I'm actually running a max attack set. I've got a good amount of speed. That speed is for Dracovish as well. It's also for Rillaboom, so I'm going to be outspeeding all Rillaboom variants. And then I've got Cross Poison, Night Slash, Fire Fang, and Taunt. Cross Poison and Night Slash with the Razor Fang have a 50% chance to critical hit. That means I critical hit through burns from Arcanine. I critical hit through those Intimidate attack drops, and I'm doing Sniper boosted damage. Sniper boosts critical hits from 1.5 to 2.25, which means we're actually dealing an extra 75% damage. You gotta see the calcs in this thing, man. When you hit Cross Poisons and Night Slashes when they crit, Drapion is an absolute monster. Of course, I've got Taunt there as well as a way to stop his Trick Room mode, and I've got Fire Fang there to deal a little bit of extra damage to that potential Escavalier, which might be a threat. So in terms of our lead options, I can definitely see myself going with something like, you know, Ninetales plus Sandslash, Togekiss plus Ninetales, Ninetales plus Drapion. All of those leads are incredibly strong. And then again, that Trick Room mode with Bronzong plus Turtonator in the back as a way to clean up. Or I could even try to utilize something like a late game Hail to try to clean up. Again, do not underestimate the power of Togekiss as a Dynamax Pokemon in this battle. Drapion, I think, Drapion and Bronzong are the two that, actually, Drapion, Bronzong, Ninetales do not Dynamax at all in this battle. I have opportunities to Dynamax, Sandslash, Turtonator, or Togekiss to potentially try to seal the deal. I think on paper, I have a really good matchup here. I actually think, as strong as Wolf's team is, I think we have an opportunity to win this battle. Regardless, though, I feel really good. I prepped a lot, and aside from the power and internet issues, I feel locked in and ready to battle for week 1 of the WBE. Check out Vicavolts.com in the description below if you want to pick up some merch. I really appreciate the support. Otherwise, keep an eye out. The match will go up the day after this team builder goes up. Again, I apologize for the delay, but I just simply do not have internet. I'm actually about to drive to a McDonald's about 20 minutes away so I can upload this to my editor. So that's just how things go. Hopefully, I'll have full internet for our next battle. So whenever this one goes up, again, the match will be the next day. And then, of course, my next match, week 2, is going to be going up on Sunday, and that's how it'll be for the rest of the season, assuming no more power outages. I hope you guys are excited. Let me know thoughts in the comment section below about our team breakdown. Let me know about the new style of our team builders. Obviously, we're adding a lot more quality to this to make them more engaging for you guys. Hopefully, you'll learn a little bit about competitive Pokemon and about Draft League in the process. And that's going to be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive. And for the Vicavolts, I'll see you guys next time. Peace. If you enjoyed this video for me, I'm sure you're gonna love this video right here. However, YouTube thinks that you're gonna like this video. So check out one of my 2 videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.